Hi, my name is Will Ditzler, President of Riverbirch Executive Advisors and a certified Gazelles International coach. My core purpose is to help CEOs and leaders achieve excellence and fulfill their vision. One of my core values is lifelong learning. It is with these in mind that I've produced a series of short videos. Today we're going to talk about execution disciplines with a focus on how to use meeting rhythms to drive accountability and follow-through. The principles covered in this video are largely based on the 4 decisions framework outlined in the book Scaling Up, written by Verne Harnish, as well as his first book, Mastering the Rockefeller Habits. I also incorporate my personal experience and recommendations as a former CEO of a mid-market firm and now as a business coach. The 4 major decisions every company must get right to reach peak performance are strategy, cash, people, and execution. Once again, we are going to focus on execution in this video. There are 3 execution disciplines: priorities, data, and rhythms. Let's start with priorities. It's important to drive all of your priorities down to your top 3 to 5. This applies to your core values, your midterm strategic moves, your annual key initiatives, your quarterly priorities, and even to your daily tasks. This discipline revolves around the premise that too many priorities result in no real priorities. The second execution discipline is data. Once you have established your priorities, how do you measure success? Everyone knows to look at revenue and profit, but these alone are not enough data to manage your organization. The third and most critical component of the 3 execution disciplines is meeting rhythms. As managers and leaders, part of your job is being in meetings to lead and guide the business. Without a disciplined and pre-planned series of meetings, the ability to follow through, have a culture of accountability, and execute consistently is greatly compromised. If you are resistant to the idea of potentially more meetings, let me first say that every meeting should have the following characteristics. Number 1, they need to start and finish on time, period. Number 2, there should be a written agenda for all meetings. And finally, at the end of each meeting, the team members should be able to say that the meeting was worth their time and will make adjustments as needed. If you do these things and follow the system we teach at Gazelles, you should find you have a net gain in the time from the efficiency of communications derived from your meetings. So what are the recommended meetings for a mid-sized company with a management team or a leadership team that is tasked with growing revenues and developing and implementing a strategic plan? The first meeting is the daily huddle. It's used by many but not all of my clients. It works well for companies in which all or most of the management team members work in the same location or at least in the same time zone. The purpose of the daily huddle is to synchronize and discuss the next 24 hours. Read pages 180 through 183 of Scaling Up for tips on the best habits for good huddles. It is a 10 to 15 minute stand-up meeting with the following agenda: what's up in the next 24 hours, daily metrics, and where are you stuck? Make sure and be specific, as that is where the train wrecks are avoided and opportunities identified. What kills the value of the daily huddle is generalities. If you find your team members saying they have some emails to plow through and some proposals to get out the door, you will miss the value of the huddle. Be specific: who, what, and when. If you're not sure about the daily huddle, try it for 30 days and evaluate its value to your team. The second meeting is the weekly. This meeting is non-negotiable and is a must to implement the Scaling Up system and the Rockefeller Habits. We recommend 60 to 90 minutes with a focus on priorities, weekly KPIs, clients, employees, and collective intelligence. The weekly should reduce short meetings and interruptions throughout the week and give you a pulse on the business. At the company I was running, if I missed a weekly, I felt out of the loop. Some of the things we did at our weekly with JF New, the company I ran, were look at our Net Promoter Score and employee conversations throughout the week. We made a real point to always focus on our clients and our employees, which were key to our mission statement. We also developed a habit of writing thank you notes to our employees, handwritten thank you notes, every week. The next meeting. It's a 4-hour monthly meeting focused on financial review, quarterly priorities, also called ROCs, collective intelligence, and continuing education. These meetings are typically on-site. It is very important to drive accountability to meeting the quarterly priorities in the monthly meetings. In terms of the continuing education, short videos like this one work well, or have everyone on your team read a specific number of chapters in a book between meetings so that you read together as a team. On a quarterly basis, typically timed with the financial reporting once again, the team should do a 1-day offsite to focus on the 1-page strategic plan that was developed in the annual planning session. This is also the meeting in which you determine your quarterly priorities, ROCs, and your theme. The agenda includes financial review and a KPI scorecard, your one-page strategic plan accountability, ROCs, and collective intelligence with a focus on strategy. The quarterly replaces the monthly every third month. After your management team quarterly, it's a good time to also do an employee communication meeting to share with all the employees the quarterly performance and the priorities. A 30 to 60-minute meeting or video from the CEO is typically the best approach. The final meeting in the meeting rhythms is the annual planning session. This meeting is 1 to 2 days at an off-site location and often with an outside facilitator. The purpose of the annual planning session is to review and update your one-page strategic plan and make big strategic decisions that require more time for collective intelligence discussions. This plan includes sections on long-term strategy like core values, core purpose, your big, hairy, audacious goal or BHAG, and brand promises. Also your midterm strategy moves like core customer, your sandbox, your targets, and your strategic moves. It also includes your annual theme, your key performance indicators, your annual key initiatives, and your quarterly priorities. The plan you developed is used to stay focused on your priorities, track your metrics, and is supported by the weekly, monthly, and quarterly meeting rhythms. A few final tips on meeting rhythms. Set all your meetings for the year at the beginning of the year and send out calendar invites. They can be moved if needed, but you will follow through better as a team if you pre-schedule them and everyone works around them. Other than the daily huddle, finish each meeting with action items, who, what, and when, cascading communication, what from this meeting do we need to share with the rest of the team, and a one-phrase close by each team member so that everybody gets to talk and have their input. And remember, start and finish on time and have an agenda. Periodically assess the quality and productivity of the meetings and make adjustments as needed. As mentioned earlier, the approach described in this video is based on the book Scaling Up and my personal experience in running a business and coaching. As with anything, you may customize the recommended agendas and use your personal experience in implementing meeting rhythms. Thanks for the opportunity to share the 3 execution disciplines: priorities, data, and rhythms. Thanks again, and remember, never stop learning.